For those of you who have been up to the front and seen this table sitting up here, a lot of people don't know what it is and what the significance is. What I'd like to do is say those who have served and those currently serving in the uniformed services of the United States are ever mindful that the sweetness of enduring peace has always been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured and may still be enduring the agonies of pain, deprivation, and imprisonment. Before we begin the rest of my speech, we pause to recognize our POWs and our MIAs. We call them comrades, brothers, sisters, friends. They are unable to be with us with their loved ones and families and us, so we join together to pay humble tribute to them and to bear witness to their continued absence. The POW-MIA table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his or her oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose in the vase signifies the blood they may have shed in sacrifice to ensure the freedom of our beloved United States of America. This rose also reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the vase represents an unyielding determination for proper accounting of our comrades who are not among us. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast us with us. The chair is empty. They are not here with us. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home to the open arms of a grateful nation. The American flag reminds us that many of them may never return and have paid the supreme sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Let us pray to the Supreme Commander that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. May God forever watch over them and protect them and their families. I've been asked by my children, what is a veteran, Dad? A veteran, whether active duty, discharged, retired, or reservist, is someone who at one point in his or her life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including his or her life. That is honor, and there are way too many people in this country today who no longer understand that fact. What does Veterans Day mean to a veteran? It is a day that serves to recognize and appreciate veterans who served in the military branches of the United States. It used to be Armistice Day. However, that label only recognized World War I veterans. It was changed to Veterans Day as a day to remember and say thank you to all veterans who served at all times. There is no discrimination based on race, creed, color, or sex. As the old saying goes, the only color in the Army and Marines is green. In the Navy and Air Force, it's blue. Historically, veterans have defended and protected our way of life for ages. A veteran is any human being who volunteered or was drafted to serve and sacrifice his or her own freedoms so we can have our freedoms. Serving in the military is not easy. Some veterans have endured more than others, including loss of life. To recognize all veterans just one day out of the year is not too hard. The freebies businesses provide are a token of gratitude, which are not expected, but are greatly appreciated. It is the only holiday where all veterans are honored regardless of generational differences, political preferences, or ideologies. Whether a veteran is from the greatest nation or greatest generation, a baby boomer, Generation X or Y, or a millennium, All veterans from all generations are honored on this day without division. 50 years ago, gratitude was in short supply among segments of the American people. Heroes returned from Vietnam and were discouraged from wearing their uniforms in public places due to the disrespectful actions of some protesters and others who disagreed with policies that were set by our elected officials. Too often, the protesters failed to realize that it was not the campus agitator who ensured our First Amendment rights. It was the military veteran. Today is Veterans Day. It is a day that we put veterans first. And putting veterans first also means support and care for their families. It is why President Lincoln famously included widows and orphans when he promised to care for him who shall have borne the battle. You don't have to live in a military town to know a veteran. Veterans are everywhere, sometimes proudly wearing a service cap or a military t-shirt, other times quietly blending into the background. By virtue of your attendance here, you likely have an appreciation for veterans. The people here are veterans, friends of veterans, family of veterans, co-workers of veterans, and neighbors of veterans. It is up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service in this country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. There are many tangible ways that we can acknowledge their sacrifice. But the easiest is simply to say, thank you for your service. Veterans Day is a time to honor and put those who have fought for us in battle, but in fact, all the outstanding men and women who served in the nation's armed forces since our founding more than 243 years ago. When war is necessary, America's fighting men and women always come forward and put their country first. Just 5 years after liberating 2 continents in World War II, they again answered the call in Korea, where 35,000 Americans made the ultimate sacrifice so others could be free. Generations later, they served in places like Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, Beirut, Grenada, Panama, Afghanistan, and Iraq. That is what veterans do, country first. Veterans put us first, and today we put veterans first. As one veteran to all veterans, I salute you. We should honor ourselves for keeping our flag free and secure. We are the courageous men and women who fought and died for the idealism of liberty and freedom for all. I thank all veterans for not being selfish with their lives and believing in our nation's freedom. We will celebrate and honor our veterans of all wars and for their patriotism, love of nation, and sacrifice they and their families have made for the common good of our nation. It was the veteran who saluted our flag, who served under our flag, and who will be remembered under our nation's flag. Veterans may fade in age, but they will not run. Thank you very much.